All right, this one comes again as a request from Purgatory, known as the Discord. Link in the description box down below. And it's from Sabaton. Well, not Sabaton directly. I think it's another channel. Wait, is it? Yeah, it's another channel that uploaded a Sabaton song or something, I think. Well, anyway, funny that this should come up because as a GWAT, retiree, I've been to this hill. It's south of Gardez, not too far south of another place called it was like Sharak or Sharmak or something like that. Shavak. It's a smaller region south of Gardez, and yeah, you can tell someone had been there. There are some areas where we could still find some like leftover Soviet stuff, and it wasn't like it was something that was like, lost in the battle or nothing. It just seemed like it was broken shit and they left it there, essentially. Shell casings, and all that kind of sort of stuff. It was pretty cool, right? It was pretty neat. I was like, God damn. Because before you go to most places, you will be briefed on the history or given a snippet of it. And if you're smart, you'll research where you're going, or you'll find someone who knows what you should look into. And I have been there. So this should be interesting for me. Was I there when the Soviets were there? No. No. But I do remember hearing all the time about the Soviets being in Afghanistan. I'm old enough to remember that stuff. So that being said, from the OG Vile guy. Oh boy, let's see if he likes me after a certain amount of time here. We'll see. We'll see. Currently talking to him about some, the unfortunate circumstance of being leftist indoctrinated. But they seem like a smart kid. So thank you very much for the request, OG Vile guy from Australia. Sabaton, Hill 3234. And the reason why the hill was called 3234, if I remember correctly, was because of its elevation. Not necessarily because it was plotted on the map or something like that. But yeah, something like, I'm trying to go off memory, something like 50 Soviet troops held out against like 300 Mujahideen and almost wiped them all out. And this was back when the Soviets were actually somewhat of a fighting force to be reckoned with to a certain degree. Not so much nowadays. That said, let's jump into it, shall we? You know, if I remember correctly, all right, there's a lot of made up stuff in the movie. I haven't seen it, but I've heard of it from other dudes, right? The kind of dudes where they'll tell you, it's not worth it, dude. I'm like, okay. Right? These are guys I served with, fought alongside, and been to a lot of the same places. And some of them saw the movie, and they were like, nah, it's bullshit. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'll take your word for it. And they've never been wrong. Cool slop, right? Cool action slop. I mean, it's a nice tribute to a hell of a fight. I mean, come on. 50 versus like 300? Buddy. All right. I mean, I faced similar odds, but with a lot more power on my side than the Soviets were able to bear. And it's no joke, dude. It's no joke. It's some real serious shit. Harrowing in many ways. Strangely enough, some of the best times of my whole existence, outside of my son. If you know, you know. But yeah, I'm not worried about none of this being, some kind of, some kind of like, oh my God, I see the past. No, I don't really have that issue. If I do have memories or flashbacks or something, yeah, sure. I mean, they're objectively bad ones, but I don't look at them as like something that, mentally destroys me. You know, Besides, this is like Hollywoodified type of stuff. It really does not, it doesn't hit like the real thing at all. Anyway, let's continue.
January 7th, on the hilltop battle crosses, follow orders. Holding the ground, till the final round, one by one. Fight through the sundown, into the night, enduring the darkness, awaiting the light. Hold your ground, when you fight to those who fight. Waiting on the hill, no surrender, shoot to kill. You have to hold your ground. Kill the warrior in your sight. That is waiting on the hill, no surrender, shoot to kill.
It's such a shame that Russia is such a bad country. It's such a shame because, they're like they just fight. That's pretty much it for them. If I can describe, because I met a few Russians, some KGB defectors, some FSB defectors, guys who left the Russian military on pretty much all levels and, became advisors or, they helped us in some capacity. I'll say that much. I haven't met too terribly many of them, no. Just a few. I was nothing special, really. And I just happened to be in those places doing stuff, and they were there too. Some of them were pretty cool to talk to. Some of them I was like, oh shit, you were my equivalent. Holy shit, dude. Right? But anyway, that said, it's such a shame they're such a bad country. And people will say some dumb shit like, oh, the Russian people aren't bad. True, they're not evil, but they're not exactly the best people. I mean, look at what's happening between Russia and Ukraine right now. People will say all sorts of retarded stuff about it, all right? And, some would consider what I say about it retarded as well. Because, I'm on my side, of course. But I would have preferred if Russia had just decided to join the rest of the world. Instead of staying in its own little bubble and doing just its own thing, I think it would have been great. In fact, Russia does have some potential to be great strictly off of, the very simple, you know, but stolid culture they have. All right. I've run into Russians in different places, their military, and then again, this was back in the day. Nowadays, they seem to have been kind of drained, but they're still going. But them fighting, terrorists and Islamics, I wasn't too far away when there were some of them in some cities somewhere in a certain country that was fighting off ISIS. And while the regime in power at the same time. I won't get too in deep to it. But we were near them trying to coordinate some shit so we didn't accidentally shoot each other. And, well, we started taking fire. And the guy I was talking to, like me, I immediately jumped behind a vehicle. Dude just stood there, lit his cigarette, and was like, all right, you gotta love that side of him. I swear to God, you gotta love that side of him. All right, it may. Some people consider it dumb or stupid, but to me, I found it very endearing. I was like, all right, that. But anyway, and that's just how they are. That's just their. That's just part of their existence. Just period. No, not all the Russian people are bad, but as a country, they're pretty bad. It's sad to see what's going on. But that is humanity. Anyway, I'm going to stop ranting and raving. Get back to the music because, I enjoy this. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I know this isn't the original Sabaton nothing, and it's filled with movie scenes, so it'll probably get copyright struck into oblivion. Oh well, I make no money on this anyway. I'll never be big enough to do so. So I just gave up, really. I gave up, essentially. That said, Russia Matushka. Afrosedania. That be anyway, so. Alright. Oh wait, they have the little thingy down here. Oh, it's the lyrics. The music was great anyway, though. So, that said, what did y'all think? Y'all let me know in the comments down below. Alright, you know what time it is. Be good. Be safe. Make a good life for yourselves. Don't compromise safety and security for nobody and nothing. Death and disaster is only a second away. Do what you can today. And I will see y'all in the next one. I am Badger 7 Actual, the formerly homeless veteran, Blast Cab Badger, out.